Welcome back, YouTube, to a new review for Frieren Season 2, this time episode 8, A Magnificent End. I just remember the title. So it's been about almost 3 weeks since I've done one of these because I ended up getting sick. Uh, so, I haven't been able to record when I wanted to. So before I start the review, of course, as usual, you can watch the full reaction on Patreon right now for €5 a month. Uncut and censored the entire episode. Even more like stuff for me to add during the episode itself because I had to stop this episode quite a few times. I think the video for it. Hang on, let me check. Uh, sorry, I'm really not feeling well. Yep, the video for it lasts 54 minutes, so that's an extra 30 minutes compared to the length of the episode. Uh, I had a lot to say about it. Mainly, um, the animation. Jesus Christ, the animation. It has blown my mind away how good it has been during this episode. Like, not usually we have had some really great animation for the show, but it was like a scene or two in an episode. We've had a continuous episode of like over half of it was some incredible animation. And like, I can't praise the animation team enough. Sure, you can say that, yeah, but they had to they had to scrape on the quality of the background. I don't care. Like at the beginning of the episode, we have that long sequence of Geno and Stark taking turns fighting Revolt, and sure, you can see that the background is bad quality, and that's because it's clearly the 3D background that they had rendered and done some camera movement in there. Like they had recorded some camera movement in the 3D background, and then superimposed the animation of the characters on top of that, which saved a lot probably. Like it has to have saved a lot of time and money, and budget for that. At least like save enough to have the quality of animation for the characters themselves, because at the end of the day, that's the main focus. It's the characters. During a fight scene at least. It's their movement, it's the choreography, which was absolutely incredible every step of the way. Um, so there was like a lot of scare regarding the risk of losing Stark and or Geno. I'm gonna be honest, I did not necessarily feel that scare, that fear rather, because it wouldn't have suited the show from what I've seen so far. Like, yes, of course, we have seen people die. We have seen like those kind of things, but I don't think the show would have killed such beloved characters straight away. Like maybe Geno, because there have been a considerable amount of red flags, like of death flags rather, planted for him in the past few episodes. Sorry, because we've seen so much of his like flashbacks and a bit of his backstory and learned so much more about the depth of his character, death, the death of his character. But I was pleasantly surprised to see that he survived as well, because he could have been killed off. Like there was every sign was here for him to eventually lose. But instead, what we got was a character progression arc during the span of a fight. Sorry, I took it off my mic because I was having a coughing fit. It happens a lot lately because, as I said, I've been quite sick, and I still am. But I felt like I needed to record, so here I am. But yeah, it was a progression, a character progression during this entire arc for him to eventually accept that yes, uh, you can, like, I mean, fighting to defend someone or to defend a place or to defend ideals themselves can give you the strength to surpass even death, or at least like the fear of death. Sorry. And that's what we got here. It's like, had he had he uh, been fighting on his own, he would have lost, not because he was weaker, but because he was not ready to, like, he was not ready to survive as much as possible, to do everything to survive, because he would have felt content with dying, having done what he could or what he thought he could. But because Stark was here and Stark is such a lovable idiot, um, then like, and he's such a warrior in his mindset and everything, he was able to just finally understand. Was finally able to finally understand that yes, he could continue fighting. He could, like, he could basically ignore his pain and give everything he had, even if he didn't seem like he could survive more time. Sorry, but yeah, like, I mean, he didn't seem like he, even if he didn't seem like he could survive a lot longer, given the severity of his wounds, he still kept on fighting. And so that's basically a character progression that we've had, and probably something that will have a deeper impact on him in the future. I definitely like his character in general, and I can definitely respect him because he was able to see and understand and accept Stark's way of thinking and adapt it in a way, regarding, like, the fight is won by the ones still standing at the end, even if, like, both sides end up destroying each other. Like, just because you're down doesn't mean that you've lost. As long as you can get back up, you just go for it. And I really did love it. Did love it, and he showed concern for Stark and respect for him, and, like, it's I don't know, it's just such a good way to have a character progression like that. I did love also the way the fight for the other three main characters was handled, like the way it was resolved, rather, where Method and Fern were each fighting one demon, but the way they had to defeat them was to work to undermine the other demon that they weren't fighting. So the way for Meta to finally win was for her to undermine the demon that Fern was fighting by dissipating the fog, so that Fern would have the upper hand in creating an attack that could not be detected, at least not detected in time, by a demon that was clearly very well versed in defense and the likes. Uh, and yeah, the way for Fern to win was for Method to clear the fog, because it would allow her to hide herself. as soon as the fog was cleared, she was able to completely conceal her mana and get as far away as possible basically in the shadow of the moon, uh, as we can call it, because it's a sort of case, right, where sure, normally you would see someone standing in front of the light of the moon, but if she's far enough, she just blends into the light itself. And I did like the fact that it was resolved that way, where they had to think outside of the box to decide to help the other while they were on the defensive themselves. I mean, technically, Method was not completely on the defensive. I would have loved to hear a bit more, like to learn a bit more about her background here, her tribe, and like the way she was brought up, and the way she apparently, uh, sorry, the way she apparently grew up differently from her tribe, like because she apparently stems from a tribe of warriors. Uh, I mean, not warriors, but at least like very aggressive demon hunters. But she, for her, magic became fun, and that's what allowed her to learn different kind of spells that her tribe would not have used necessarily. Oh, sorry, but yeah, it was very impressive. Also, I I took a guess that the spell she was using against the that other demon with the like the red orbs and stuff is probably what caused the damage when she was fighting against Fern's clone during the second test. Because at first, when I saw the episode, the original episode, thought that I had the assumption that Fern's clone probably did all the damage, but given the shape of the damage and like the wide variety of it, it feels like it might have been just Method going all out. So that was also impressive to see. But yeah, overall, like we had some banger OAC from Evan Cole once again. My dude, like just keep doing what you're doing because it's magnificent. And yeah, like I was not expecting this fight to be over. So like in this episode, I was fully expecting the fight against against Revolt to be over. Um, to be over like not to be over rather to take longer uh during this episode. Like I was expecting the episode to focus more on the fight that Method, Fern, and Frieren were doing, and then like it would have switched near the end to the fight against Revolt, and it would have been left as a to be continued. I was fully expecting that. I was also not expecting the uh right the young demon girl to show up in the village. Sorry, to show up in the village and to die. I was fully expecting her to just have run off on her own and on a chase for a demon uh, who's like learning about humans, because it felt at first like maybe they were opening up for that, but instead it served uh, probably more as a uh, first a plot point to tell us that yes, there is a demon that studies humanity, like to learn more about humans and stuff like that, who is curious about humans, and not just as a predator towards their prey. Uh, but also, like it may also have been used basically as a way to tell us, see, many people have their own stories in that world. Not every story reaches its end, or its intended end, at least, because she died without realizing her wish to see that demon and to learn more about humans. So, yeah. Sorry. But yeah, it was definitely like there were a few scares regarding what the end could have been, but I wasn't expecting I was not expecting the episode itself to cover the entirety of the fights, and I was halfway expecting Geno to not to make it out alive. I'm quite surprised that he did survive. Anyway, sorry. I I'm sorry I have to cut on my mic so many times. I just keep coughing so much. Anyway, I don't think I have anything to add. I said pretty much everything. Some mentions of sign at the end, but I'm gonna be honest. Like, I don't see how you would even make it to the northern plateau. Like, he probably wouldn't even have the money to hire first class mage. So I don't know how he would be able to make it there. But they still keep the priest slot open for him. Anyway, yeah, that's what I had to say about this episode. I was expecting to spend more time talking about it, but I think I've covered pretty much everything at this point. So I'm gonna end it here before I completely destroy my lungs. Once again, you can watch the full reaction on Patreon right now for €5 a month. Uncut and censored, picture in picture. You don't have to use your own version to sync up. And yep, that's about it for now. So I guess I'll see you for episode 9, which I will probably record right away. See you.